Good afternoon. This is Matthew Lindsay with Precision Home Group here in Anchorage. We're coming to you live like we do every day to talk to you about real estate. So today we're focusing on commercial real estate. Now this is meant to be an introduction to some real estate concepts, commercial real estate concepts. We're going to talk about why you would, how you would, things like that. And then we're going to go more specifically into different types of real estate, commercial real estate, throughout this week and next week. So what are some different types of commercial real estate? Well, we have retail, multifamily, industrial, we have office, we have mixed use where you kind of throw a couple different one of those into maybe one building or one site where it's all located. We also have, industrial, don't know if I mentioned that, but warehouses, things like this. So there's different types of real estate, of commercial real estate. So when you hear people talking about commercial real estate, there's a lot of different things that it's involved in, right? So we're gonna dig into those, really kind of go into the individual use for each one of those. We're also gonna look at the investment potential for some of those. We're going to talk about things like opportunity cost, which is, what is opportunity cost? Well, that is the potential income that you have, the loss of potential income by taking on one investment rather than another. So if you have a set amount of money, let's say X, you have X money, right? $100 million. Well, you're going to take that $100 million and you're going to purchase 1, 2, 3, maybe a couple different real estate opportunities, right? Well, whatever return you're getting back on that, you may have gotten a bigger return somewhere else. So that would be that opportunity cost, kind of the spread in between what you're getting, what you could be getting. So that's what opportunity cost is. We're going to dig into that. And we're going to talk about different streams of revenue. How do you get paid on each different types of real estate? So we're going to dig into that and give you a lot of great content, a lot of great information. Now, if you have any specific questions about certain types of properties, you want to know more about industrial use, you want to know more about multifamily, maybe you want to know more about office space, let me know. Send me a question, drop a comment below, and we will bring that into the video when we do a video on that type of property. So today, commercial real estate as a whole, just kind of introduction. Why would you want to get into commercial real estate rather than, say, residential or other types of stocks? Now, we've talked a lot about multifamily, about investing in multifamily properties, and all of that has been commercial. Once you hit 5 units, 5 doors or more, that's considered commercial multifamily. We've talked a lot about the financial aspect of that, the cash flow from that, and we've also talked about some of the different incentives for investing in real estate. Well, commercial real estate as a whole, you want to invest in that. Well, first, there's a lot of different tax incentives, a lot of tax breaks, a lot of things that you can do and write off that you can't for other traditional investments. Whether that's going to be your taxes or stocks, whether that's your bonds, maybe that's gold, some of the natural resources investments, or anything else. So we're looking at a lot of tax incentives, which makes it very, very attractive to a lot of people because it's a way to put their money into something and add more tax write-offs at the end of the year. So it pays for itself in that aspect alone. Another great reason why you would invest in commercial real estate is the cash flow perspective. You get paid month after month after month, and you get paid when you go through the disposition, when you sell that property. So you get paid every month, and you get paid when you sell the property. So it's pretty amazing. Whereas stocks and bonds, you may see some dividends in stocks, but chances are they're not going to be substantial if you see them at all. When you buy gold, you don't get paid monthly. There isn't somebody who walks up and says, hey, I brought you more gold today. That doesn't happen. You buy gold, you hold on to gold, and then you go sell it and hope that it's a higher price. A lot of people make a lot of money in gold. I'm not saying it's a bad investment. I'm just saying with real estate, I like getting paid monthly and when I sell the product. So that's another great benefit of investing in commercial real estate. We also have, changes of your environment, maybe your community, where you live. Now, me personally, I love the idea of redevelopment or development initially. So if you have some raw land, you want to develop that, you want to change your environment, change your city. You want to put your footprint in that city and change it for the better and bring more to the marketplace, bring together businesses, bring together people. Maybe it's multifamily and you create a beautiful building where people want to flock to, where people want to live in because it's such a beautiful building. It's got great amenities and it does wonders. Maybe it cleans up the area. Maybe because you put office space or retail space, you bring a lot more money into that area and it helps clean things up. Maybe it helps beautify that part of town because now you have garden beds, you have things in there. So it can change your environment, it can change your community, and you can actually help bring property values up by bringing a beautiful building into there. I mean, just look at places like any big city where redevelopment takes place. It cleans it up, it raises property values, and great things happen, okay? Also, why working with commercial real estate is it's a more, instead of residential specifically, is because you're looking at a more of an objective, more of a logical decision making. Now, when you're bantering back and forth or negotiating back and forth on a single family home, on some type of residential property, a lot of the times it's like fighting tooth and nail, and it's over trivial things or small things. Yes, there's repairs and inspections that you need to do on a property. It needs to be livable. But when you're talking about paint colors and you're talking about, the inspection report and little repairs on the property, landscaping, things like that, and you're fighting, maybe a deal doesn't close over a couple $100. Well, that's typically not the case on some of these commercial real estate ventures because it's logical. Hey, does this make money? Has it produced income over the last year? Does it pencil out? Do the numbers make sense? Is the environment correct? Is the economy right? Is the market trends there? Hey, if everything checks out, I'm good to go. Do I care what the paint is? I can change that. Do I care what other things are? I do, but it's not as big of a deal breaker as somebody looking at a single family home and really stuck on, hey, the kitchen needs updated, I need to do that, and I don't have any money to do that. So there's a lot more objective and logical decisions being made in commercial real estate. Do the numbers make sense? Can I put this together? It's a go or it's a no-go. And at the end of the day, I would much rather work with people who are like that, who are logical, who are objective, than I would with people with their emotions emotionally tied to a property that may be not even theirs yet. So those are just some of the core reasons why you would invest in commercial real estate, work with people in commercial real estate. Also, it's business to business. People are thinking differently, acting differently, and on a bigger scale. So, intro to commercial real estate. That's what we're covering today. Couple other questions, couple other ideas and concepts to think about with commercial real estate. One of the big ones is, hey, are you an investor in commercial real estate, or are you the user in commercial real estate? So those are the two big categories. We have investors and we have users. Sometimes we have owner-user of commercial real estate, so it kind of ties both of them together. So a lot of the times what we're going to derive the value of commercial real estate out of is what is the specific use of that property. And when you go into a commercial real estate, if you're looking to acquire one, if you're looking to purchase one, you got to ask yourself, hey, what is my use that I'm going to use that building for? And is that set up to do so, or is it going to cost me a lot? Do I need to rehab it? Do I need to redevelop it? Do I need to change zoning? What do I need to do to make that usable for my purposes as the user or as the owner of that property? Also, does that location fulfill your demands? If you're looking to put a high-rise multifamily residential out in Wasilla, you're probably not going to be super successful at that, right? Because, that's a little bit more rural. People are spread out. They're not all centrally located. Is there the income demand there, right? So you need to look at the location. You need to do your research, look at, hey, is there demand for it? If you're manufacturing, right? If you're looking to put in purchase some industrial land or maybe a warehouse, and you're looking at either industrial or manufacturing, hey, are there routes nearby? Are there trade routes nearby? Are you close to the port? Do you have rail yards close by that can come by, pick up the products and take them out? Can trucks get in and out and onto the highway at a reasonable rate? Are all of these things in place or not? And if not, what is it going to take to put that there? So that is what today is what we're talking about is, hey, the location. Let's look at the location. Does it fit my needs? Also, what type of market trend are you in? Last week, we talked a lot about strategic analysis. Pretty much summing up, hey, how do we get into a property? What are the decision points we need to go through? And if everything checks, is it a go, a no-go? So with the market trends, we talked about the 4 basic types of the market, right? So what are those? It's going to be recovery, right? We're going to start off with recovery. Then we're going to go into expansion. Then we're going to go into hypersupply, where that expansion, you saw a lot of growth, a lot of new construction. Well, hypersupply is all that new construction blowing up, hitting the market and making it available to everybody. So we have oversupply, whether that's office space, multifamily, or any other type of commercial real estate. And then after that hypersupply, we go back into that recession and then loop back into recovery. So those are the 4 stages of the market. So you got to know which part of the market are you in? What market trend are you currently in? What's your next step? And you need to base your decisions off that. If you're in hypersupply and going into recession, does it make sense? Or can you get a better price once you're in recession if you're placed to afford a property, right? So look at where you're at, look at where the market's at, looking at location, and determine, are you a user or an investor? And that sums up kind of our intro today of commercial real estate. So as we move forward, we're going to spend a day on retail, we're going to spend a day on multifamily, we're going to spend a day on industrial, vacant land, warehouses, things like that. We're going to spend a day on office, and then we're going to spend a day on mixed use. So we're also going to be talking in each one of those about developments, rehabs, and things like that. So stay tuned over this next 2 weeks. We're going to dig into these, sink our teeth in. And again, if you have any questions about this stuff, if you have any questions,